All right, so I'm going to try an abstract face. So obviously, predominant color is red, so it's more a monochromatic painting. So there's the shades of red, there's a little bit of yellow, and then gray. But when you look at the overall composition, how I'm going to attempt to draw quickly and to make it a little more simple. So I've kept the eyes closed, so it just takes out a few more elements. And it's a nice abstract, so you could do something much more bigger and then you'll enjoy it. I will show you how I tackle this project or this art piece. See you soon.
Okay, so we're starting with simple construction, a cross mark or a plus where the eyes goes where the joint of the bridge of the nose. And I'm starting, this is a sort of a contemporary portrait or an abstract, so there's not much of details, but just enough details to know what the mood of the person is. So I'm starting with the nose. I know where my eye is gonna go, and I'm starting with the lips. The upper lips gonna look a little more bigger because the angle is slightly from the it's not at an eye angle, it's slightly from the below. So I'm not gonna cover why the way it looks. Maybe I'll cover a few more episodes on drawing portraits at the moment. So the exercise is simple. What I'm trying to do is draw construction lines and then cover the top of the nose, the side of the nose, and then also the eyebrows, the eyes. See how I'm loosely holding my pencil, and I'm not afraid to make any mistakes or correct it. So, and funny enough, even though there's lots of lines, the eyes will pick the lines which is correct. So I've drawn a circle for the chin, and every time I'm doing it, I'm just trying to understand the planes of the faces. So it's supposed to be a young girl, and a little bit of hair and a long neck, slightly longer than I would usually do, but it just adds a little more drama. And the reason I've kept the eyes closed is to minimize too much detail. Yeah, so this is a quick 10-12 minute sketch. You don't need a lot of details. I just want to capture the mood. It could be she's thinking or whatever, but and also it's tried to cover it in a very strong red color. So this is sort of a monochromatic painting. So I'm picking up Alzarian, and I'm picking up a very stiff brush. A stiff brush usually pushes the pigment a little more. So I'm not being particular about being exact where the pencil marks are. I'm just going and diving in, putting in the first layer, not thinking too much about how I'm going to do it. And as you see, I'm going to do a lift off method for the highlights. So basically you paint and then you lift the colors using a tissue, which you will see in a second. Either you can mark out the areas and not paint around it. I find this one a little more up my alley where I'm doing the painting. So I'm using a little bit of yellow ochre as my base layer or the light layer. So every painting, think in terms of three: light, medium and dark. So this will act as my light layer. So it might look a lot darker right now, but I just want a hint of yellow where the face are. So I'm picking up Pyro Red. So the first layer was Alzarian Red, now I'm doing Pyro Red. And you've seen I've switched to a mop brush, still very crude, but picking up a lot more pigments. While the paper is still wet, I'm pushing the paper a lot more quicker. So you will not have the same effect if you let it dry. So gray directly from the palette, I'm not shy about picking a big colors. At the moment I'm just focusing on where the shadows might be. So a mix of pyrrole red and gray. So the eyes. If you're wondering, there's no way this painting is gonna get any better. You gotta just trust the process and then slowly do layer by layer. So at this stage, while the painting is still wet, I'm just trying to get some tissue, crunch up some tissue, and I'm taking out areas where there's highlight. So under the eyes, top of the forehead, under the lip, top of the nose, the usual suspects. Excuse me. So that's called a lift-off method. So it's extremely useful when you're doing clouds, as an example, doing water, or any place where you want to take a little bit of color while it's not 100% white because there was Algerian red pushed in, but it's a great way while the paper is still wet. So the edges are never too sharp, they easily blend in, and I'm just adding more and more colors. Now those highlights starts popping out. So it's just fresh pigment, adding more pigment where I feel is necessary. Looks like a clown or a horror movie scene, but it will slowly start working. So it's only two colors basically at this stage. There's pyrrole red and gray. Different shades of pyrrole red and gray. And by the way, that's a paints gray. It's not black, it's just a gray. It looks black, but it's supposed to be dark gray. So I'm just defining the shin. Just that color kind of brings where the face is. So that edge was a little sharp, so I'm just wetting the brush and then just softening the edge. So come on the edge and just soften it. Just empty brush, and then I continue with the paint. I think this is a good time to quickly dry this area. So as you also, while it's drying, you notice there's a lot of pencil marks, but I like it adds more character to the painting. I think a lot of people tend to worry or ask, should I or should I not have the pencil mark, or how dark it should be. I say it's your drawing. It's a construction line. I'm a little more partial about leaving it there. So while it's dry now, I've switched to a slightly smaller brush, and I'm just giving a final touches of the eyebrows, the nostrils, the shadow, there's nothing subtle about this painting, so it's a big bold colors. and I don't hesitate to use my fingers to create a little bit of texture or smudge the colors. So working my way through adding the highlights or the shadows in this case. So plenty of reds, making the lips a little more darker while blending with a little bit of black. There's a little hint of yellow ochre. Under the nose is always in a shadow. The light's slightly on the top, and the camera is person is looking directly into the camera. I should do probably a few more portraits. I'm doing landscapes and cityscapes. I do enjoy portraits. I just don't do. I'm not a strong candidate for doing portraits, but abstract I should try a few more. Let me know if you want me to try a few more portraits. I'm happy to try if that's what the audience likes, or any other subject matter in this case. So that completes almost the highlights. I'm gonna try. I'm always, when I'm painting, I'm squinting my eyes to check how. I'm not interested in minor details. I'm just interested in the overall. Has it capture the light? Is the anatomy correct, especially when it's a portrait? So those are the fundamentals I'm trying to focus for something like a quick sketch. So I'm updating. That's the third layer of nostrils. Has to be strong enough. The eyelids, a little bit of the neck shadows. Okay, so I'm using pigment from the tube, white, titanium white, adding in a few highlights. Top of the nose, for obvious reasons. A little bit. The nostrils catch a little bit of light. The bottom lip, bottom of the bottom lip, and a little on the top of the upper lip. Putting in a little bit of highlights on the eyes that it's catching the light. Okay, so that's almost complete. This is probably under, if you exclude the drawing and other things, this is under 10-15 minutes painting. Put a little signature and let's call it a day.
Wow, well, I hope you enjoyed the painting. So you can see how with a little bit of sketch and a composition, I capture the light. Obviously it's in the center, and I've made simple adjustments to capture the mood. And this is an abstract face portrait, and if you like more of these portraits, let me know. I can do a few more portraits, maybe from the side, isometric and different things. I'm just testing out to see if people like some portraits, then I'm happy to do more portraits. If you're new to the channel, help me out, subscribe, and till next time, keep watercoloring, and bye.